Hey, tone down a little bit. Hello, everybody. Well, today is the 9th of October. So today we want to speak to some issues here. First of all, let me let you know I am not doing this well. I'm trying to, put everything together and make sure that we always sit here while I am here, enjoy what I'm doing. Okay? So if I'm making the mistakes, I just need your help to correct me on the way. So today, like we said, we're gonna be in Africa. Media, we're gonna talk about two countries in Africa, West Africa. So one would be Cameroon, and one would be Burkina Faso. Mainly, we want to talk about how can we, the African, take different direction to direct ourselves into prosperity, into positive, making things for ourselves. How can we see that, other countries have advanced and we need to just put all the hate aside and then we focus on building our own community and our own regime, government, and stop the hypocrisy and following other people. What do you think they're doing better that we cannot do? And in fact, they are the most liar. So, the young man of Burkina Faso, we're going to be talking about him, how he has started to change the life of the country, the living condition of the people over there, where the people look at to be a poor country. And this young man has come to tell the whole world that yes, the way they look at us, they are lying. In fact, all these negative image, negative things that they say about us, it's just a hoax. So what we're gonna do, I will take you to Burkina Faso and bring you some of the music that we can listen to before, we take on stage and bring you what we got in. So, now get there.
Je suis intègre, le sang des ancêtres dans mes veines. Je me battrai pour que la paix revienne. J'ai le pays, j'ai les traits et l'ADN de mes ancêtres. J'aime ce pays, j'aime ces traits, comme les couleurs de mon drapeau. J'ai le pays, j'ai les traits et l'ADN de mes ancêtres. J'aime ce pays, j'aime ces traits, comme les couleurs de mon drapeau. Sous un soleil ardent où le désespoir semble s'installer. Félicitations à tous, nous avons renoncé. Esprit épris de quelques vers. Je me rappelle de ce dernier rêve où l'ennemi en trêve crève, alors donc nourricière et la sève. Comme des poltrons, ils sont en train de trembler. Comme des feuilles mortes sans valeur. Aujourd'hui, on préfère être mort que de s'apitoyer sur notre sort. Rien ne pourra nous arrêter, tu sais. On a déjà gagné, ça c'est carré. Tranquille, la mémoire ne tombe pas. Déterminé pour le combat. Pas la tournière pour le combat.
Nous attaquons comme tu le fais. Demande à Pi.
So, what we want to do, we got another one here that I will play, but before that, finish this one, then we'll come back to that one, okay?
Frère, tu veux te libérer de tes chaînes. On te tend la perche, saisis nos peines. T'en fais pas pour le moral, on en enlève. C'est du sang, les couleurs qui coulent dans nos veines. De tous tes ancêtres, d'où que tu gères. L'amour de la patrie.
Yeah, so what I was trying to talk about, I'm telling you that we, the African, we need to talk about ourselves. Instead of promoting other people and other people's culture, that we embrace what we got. They fight us. We were disgraced. They slave us. They do everything that, the talent we the African have. They make it look like, we don't matter. So now histories are up. It's better for us to, encourage ourselves to do just more to promote our own, So these are the things that we need to know. It's important for us to know that. And one of the things I want to talk about is going to be Cameroon as well. But when I'm done with Burkina Faso, I will bring you how they call Cameroon, so that you and myself can discuss. The old man don't want to leave presidency, but we believe it's time for that. Watch that.
Si on veut se développer dans la dignité, si on ne veut plus que nos destins se décident en Occident, il est temps de protéger nos leaders, de marcher ensemble d'une seule voix, comme un seul homme, trop c'est trop. African people, no more tears, no more chains. The time is now to rise, to stand, to defend our leader. On a perdu Sankara, on a perdu Lumumba, on a perdu Kadhafi, et tant d'autres encore. Mais maintenant, on a Laurent Gbagbo, on a Assimi Goïta, on a Ibrahim Traoré, on a Abdourahmane Tiani. Allons-nous laisser l'Occident nous les prendre? Moi je dis non, non, non.
Yeah, so that was so amazing. I love that music.
La RDC, notre pays, le président l'a déclaré.
I'll come back to you, and then I'll
Comme elle est
make
malade.
sure that I bring what I promised to bring, okay? So stay tuned. Well, so before we start with President Toure, we want to talk about what he want to do. So this young man, what he actually want to do, he want to very knowledgeable. This man, his knowledge is just too much. Young man of his age. So what he actually trying to do, you see, his age group over 30, 35, let's say 40, he want to maintain those people and what the in various places, the one that get a good heart, the one that can serve that country, he maintain those people to work hard, to work in various places, in government, in private sector, businesses. He offer all that to his people. Then below 20 and above, 25, 20, 18, 19, he keep those one in school to get busy with education. Because he said those groups are already being corrupted in their minds. So to maintain those people in government, especially in Africa, people believe that politics is just about stealing. You know, when you get into government, you only steal money and become rich very fast. So the knowledge is there. So he said, you're not going to keep those people in government. They're going to get trained. They're going to go to school. But according to Ibrahim, his main target is to those that don't even know what they call politics. Babies, kids are his target. He said those are the people he going to target to rehabilitate them so that they cannot. No group will learn their culture, they will learn their dialect, and they will know the country called Burkina Faso, and they will know where they call Africa. And they want to teach your people, educate them about what they have been going through, how their leaders have been murdered. So all the news people talking about, they want to murder this man, they want to murder this man. We are not praying for that. But even if that be the case, for what he has started right now, there'll be thousands and thousands of Ibrahim Traore that will come out when something like that, God forbid, happen. Let me show you what he's doing. Let me show you exactly what he's doing in his country right now. With young kids, you're going to be surprised. So to tell you what he's doing, he's training young men, babies, to be part of the society so they cannot be corrupted. Very serious. And we all need to know that this is how it should be. But for us, our own was never like that. Even though Charles Taylor, according to them, Charles Taylor escaped from prison, our own was never like that. So what a man has started, I want to show you exactly what he has started.
Les jeunes visiteurs ont pu voir de près des appareils, comprendre le rôle de l'armée de l'air dans la défense nationale. Disponible, le personnel de la base aérienne est à l'écoute des jeunes. L'un des moments forts de cette visite, c'est la rencontre entre le chef d'état-major de l'armée de l'air et les campeurs. Un moment à la fois instructif et impressionnant.
Les missions de l'armée de l'air sont simples. C'est des missions simples, mais c'est des missions très importantes. Donc, il s'agit de défendre la nation burkinabé par le ciel. Et donc, c'est à nous de frapper par le ciel les ennemis du Burkina Faso. Il s'agit aussi de soutenir les autres forces de défense et de sécurité lorsqu'ils sont dans des situations qui nécessitent un soutien de l'air. Nos missions consistent également à agir dans l'urgence quand c'est nécessaire pour évacuer les blessés, pour amener du matériel là où il faut, pour amener des vivres là où il faut.
Il termine ses propos par des conseils.
Travailler dur, respecter ses camarades, respecter ses parents, respecter les valeurs qu'on vous enseigne, le civisme. C'est très important pour construire le pays, pour construire le Burkina Faso de demain. C'est vous l'avenir du Burkina Faso.
Whoa. So, like you see, young people, babies, young kids The man, he's trying to turn this whole country into different phenomena. Wow. So you see those kids, right? This is what Ibrahim wanted. All those kids want to be trained and very protected. So that's what we need to know. Very serious. Wow. So let me try to bring you the president himself, President Traoré himself. Listen to this young man and listen to what he have to say. Very interesting. I love it. I love him. It's not like, or it's not about promoting a military regime. But if it's necessary, we have to promote the military regime if it's necessary, because it doesn't make sense for politicians to be in power, lie to the people, using military people to brutalize their own people, and they pretend like when the military people are doing that. Militaries are not bad people. If you see in a country, military people take power, they took power because of reason. And some take power because of their own greed. But this young man, Traoré, is not one of those people. So we have to praise him for that. And we thank God that some of us are alive to see men like that in our generation. So we need to promote him. I want you to listen to the young man. You're going to be very inspired about him. Very loving kind of guy, man. He speaks and he do. He speaks and he do. Yeah. So nobody will lie to you and say, oh, he's exploiting his country. Where? Where? Where is he exploiting his country? Where? He's not. He's not exploiting his country. He just want to lie on him. So we need to know that it's not about anything, but they just want us to go against our leaders. This is what exactly they want to do. And that's something for us to even negotiate anymore. We have to be serious with what we're doing, and we have to know very well that our continent is not for play. No. It's not for play, man. They make us to look like we are not matter. They still want to treat us like the way they treat our parents, our great-grandfathers' parents, like slaves. And we should not encourage that for nobody. This is our president, the Burkina Faso president, Ibrahim Traoré. I want you to listen to him very carefully, because they're going to lie to you and say XYZ.
It can't have its own opinion. So as soon as we can, it's Africa's misfortune, if I may say so. We are not united. We don't see things the same way. Some are afraid, some are hesitant, some are there for the interests of other people. The West, there are people who grew up over there, did everything over there, and then they come and are made heads of state in Africa. So they're the ones who control all of that. And so Africa can't have its own opinion. So as soon as we came to power, we had hoped that we would be allowed to work quickly and make progress. Unfortunately, some people approached us and wanted us to go along with them because their goal was not for the war to end anytime soon. I'm talking about certain foreign forces that were present on our soil. We had heated debates with diplomats from elsewhere on the matter, but no one wanted us to move toward ending this war. We understood this through the messages. If people actually came to us and told us that we had to accept them supporting the terrorists while also supporting us, it means exactly what it sounds like. It's a war being deliberately maintained. So we quickly understood, and we got rid of all the forces that were present here, whether French or American forces, and we realized that the real struggle would come afterward. The second thing was also we believed that we still had at least a minimum stock of weapons and ammunition. Today, I can tell you what I found, for example, in stock. There was just one supply line for all of Burkina Faso with less than 100,000 Kalashnikov rounds. And as for weapons, we barely had 100 of them. Simple ones. It was necessary to re-equip to strengthen the army in terms of personnel, weaponry, and everything else. So, if these prerequisites were met, the 3-month objective was indeed possible. But there was nothing. We were not prepared for war, neither in terms of equipment nor in terms of manpower.
Precisely, Mr. President, as you just said, when you took power, to put it bluntly, there were more men than ammunition in the Burkinabe army.
I want you to listen to this president and see if he's one of the president that is really corrupt, or he came to come misuse his people and just be like all of dumb asses.
That existed in our army. So these were situations where we thought it was just, I wouldn't say bad faith, but an incomprehensible situation. For us, the weapons were there, and yet they refused to equip them. But when we were confronted with reality very quickly, we resolved first to try to arm the personnel who were present. And that's when all hell broke loose, because many powerful countries refused to sell us weapons. So we turned to those who were willing to sell us weapons. Very quickly, we equipped ourselves, we recruited the VDP, and we were able to pay for everything we needed. We developed an equipment plan for a build-up in strength. And as you can see, for the past 2 years now, the equipment has started to arrive. It's still not finished, and more keeps coming in. Maybe in a few days, you'll see even more new equipment being presented, which is mainly support equipment, because first, the infantry. We had to equip them so that every man could have a weapon issued to him. That was a big challenge. We've achieved it. We keep recruiting, as you can see. Every year, we recruit between 10,000 and 15,000 men. That's a considerable effort, because when we say adversity is present, the number of terrorists increases. Because the imperialists are recruiting a lot of mercenaries who come to Burkina Faso to fight. So we have to adapt to the situation. And now we have our third phase, which is no longer about buying, but about manufacturing ourselves. And we're also working on that. So that's what building up our strength means. We need to be well equipped, but also to create a defense industry. That's very important.
In a few months or a few years, we'll have our soldiers here using weapons made in Burkina.
Of course. We have the intellectual capacity, there are resources. All it took was to look for them, and there you go. We're working on it. You'll be surprised, for sure.
Mr. President, I must ask, can we truly win this ongoing war? Are we, in fact, going to ultimately win it?
We can only win it. What else would we do? Rest assured, we're not going anywhere, and we will win this war. I told you that the threat is constantly evolving, but we are adapting. And the strength of the Burkinabe army is that it is one of the most resilient armies in the world. The pressure that Burkina Faso is under, I don't think there is any other country on earth right now facing this kind of pressure. But we are holding on, we will fight, and we are constantly adapting to the threat. And we understand where the threat comes from, how it manifests itself. That's the most important thing. And right now, I can assure you that soon we will be talking about a black albino who will appear. And you'll see. Don't ask me what that means. I think you'll understand later. The war will end, and very soon.
Precisely, to win this war, as you just said, we need weapons and we also need men, especially determined men. Determination, as you know, is the major game changer. That's what makes the difference in any war. right now as we speak, what exactly is the morale of our troops on the ground?
You've really gotten to the heart of the problem. Human resources, determined men. It's not just about supplying equipment. We need determined men. And if you notice, we are in the process of building a quality army. And it's not uncommon that when it's judged that a unit leader or an element has failed in their mission, they are dismissed and prosecuted. This has happened several times, and it will continue this way. If you sign up to be a soldier, you must accomplish the mission because the mission is sacred to us. And another thing is that despite the pressure, despite the challenges, the men keep fighting and are very resilient. If today you catch a Burkinabe soldier and ask him, do you want other people to come fight in your place or come help you? They will never tell you that. They would rather die. That's where you can judge their morale. They are ready, always ready, despite the situation, no matter what battle we might lose. We will always hold the ground. That's what's very important for the soldier's mindset. So morale is at its highest. People never expected to have this level of equipment, but now they do. So they're giving it their all, and I can only congratulate and thank everyone who is fighting. It's very important.
So, Mr. President, in your speech, you talk about a war that takes different forms, that evolves. We keep asking ourselves this question. We wonder afterwards who is attacking
Burkina Faso. It's not just terrorism. It's a war to seize our resources and prevent us from developing. I once explained this in a speech, I believe. I was saying that if we manage to properly exploit our subsoil resources to process what we are extracting here, what we are producing, there will be unemployment over there on their side. It's a battle. They plunder our resources in order to survive. So it's a war for independence. We must wage this war to be fully independent, to decide our own development, our own path. So that's what it's about right now.
Mr. President, as you just said, we're talking about the security and defense of Burkina Faso. Let's talk about your personal security. You just mentioned it a moment ago. The pressure is enormous. It's huge. The danger comes from everywhere. Mr. President, just in 2025, there have been several coup attempts that were foiled. Mr. President, do you ever feel afraid?
Thank you. I think that's the only strength I have. I'm not afraid. Because I trust all of you, that's the first thing. You have to trust the people, because it's the people who entrusted us with this mission. And I trust the people, that they will understand. And that's why we don't hesitate to stand before the people, to explain the situation to them and tell them what's going on. And that helps maintain a very good relationship. That's the first thing. The second thing, as I said, is that there was a mindset that needed to be developed within our own forces. That's very important. Right now, that mindset is there and people understand why they're fighting. If you look back a few years, many officers in the field didn't know why they were fighting. But if we know why we're fighting, who we're up against, and why there's this pressure, people understand better. And that's why we immediately created the Institute, the higher military school, so that we could train our own soldiers and instill in them what we want. Remember one thing, if you let your forces be trained by other powers, they put into their heads whatever they want. They indoctrinate them as they please, and it's easier to manipulate them. Here in Burkina, right now, that's actually what bothers many imperialist powers. They can't manage to infiltrate our army. All these units that have been created, all these men who are here, no one came from elsewhere to train them. We are built on our field experience, and we trained them ourselves. I personally took part in training some of these forces at the very beginning. So that's already a second strength. And the other strength is that if you have a mission, a goal for your country, you must not be afraid. If you are afraid, you hesitate. If you hesitate, you compromise. And once compromise sets in, you're done. I think that when you decide to make a revolution, you have to be prepared for this adversity. It's a logic that surrounds us. It's a logic that tries to bring us down. It's logical. As I say, it's a battle. They are fighting for their interests. And it's up to us, if we've decided to make the revolution, to do everything possible so that this encirclement is defeated. You see, in Africa, we're used to not having a strong army to begin with. There is no state if there isn't a strong army. But well, that was the system. As I once said to the elders, they came to flatter us. No, you shouldn't arm yourselves. Even recently, I think there was an interview where an American general said it again, that our countries don't need to be militarized. That's their view. We're like children. They're the ones who have to come, sit down, and provide security for us. And many countries are in this situation. They don't build an army. And when the situation arises, it's chaos. We, on the other hand, are building a strong army. That's why I said we fight in Burkina Faso and we train in Burkina Faso. That's very important. What was it like before? Every time, foreign forces, everyone would come to train your soldiers. They treated you as less than nothing. Today, many forces, foreigners, are now seeking to come and train with us. You wouldn't believe it. The world's greatest powers want to come and train with us, with our soldiers. But it's not just about training. They want to learn how we do things, how we operate, who trains us. But today, no one knows how the commandos are trained, how we train them, how we equip them. Why do we think that it's others who should come and train us? They haven't created anything. They just thought about it. We have brains too. So we need a powerful army to face adversity. They will keep surrounding us because there will always be leaders in Africa like that who will allow it. They have their hands tied. They always betray. They will always allow the imperialists to come to their countries to attack their own brothers. If you accept the revolution, you have to go forward with this concept. That's how it will be. So there's nothing we can do about it. We deal with it, but it's up to us to prepare ourselves so that the encirclement is nullified, so they can never achieve their goal. That's all. So we deal with it.
Very recently, ECOWAS held a forum of chiefs of defense staff of the Friends of Africa. Mali and Burkina Faso were not there, nor was Niger. We sense a lack of solidarity. You who are at the top of the state, what can you tell us about that?
Well, it's not a lack of solidarity. Keep in mind that it's a confederation, not a federation. In some respects, we do a lot of things together, at least in tandem, but in the charter, it is stated that countries can decide on their own relationships and what they can do. We can't tell a country not to collaborate with another country. No, we're not at that stage yet. We are in the process of consolidating the Confederation in many areas, including development, defense, and diplomacy. Afterwards, we will move on to the Confederation. These are steps. So Niger can take part in meetings. The Confederation is not closed off. We are open. We interact with everyone. In the very model of governance, the fight against corruption is good governance. First, there is the example that leaders must set. As I say, you cannot be there, a certain category of Burkinabe, just because you have been entrusted with positions. For you, it's a choice between good whiskey and fine champagne. While women are dying as they go to fetch water from the river, drowning or something, it's just not acceptable. So there is this mindset that we need to have in order to build a just society. Everyone should be able to have access, for example, to clean drinking water. You can't just eat whatever you want, choose your meals, throw away whatever you like, while others can't even have a single meal. That's what led us to launch initiatives in agriculture, for example, because the majority of our population works in agriculture. But for a long time, we realized that they have been neglected. It's not that our land is poor, it's not that they lack the ability to work, but they also needed that boost, which is what led us to create these initiatives. Today, I think that the most important thing for me is that when you go into the countryside and ask the farmers questions, they can honestly tell you that now they feel good. They farm, they have enough to feed themselves, and the surplus, they sell. Generally, the community pays for it, creating a security stockpile. And when in certain areas or at certain times there are problems, they take it out and sell it at a well-subsidized price, accessible to everyone. So that's very important. The ideology of revolutionizing many sectors, when you look at the field of public finance itself, we're in the process of digitizing many aspects with a lot of difficulty because people don't like it. Soon, for example, we're going to launch electronic invoicing. Already, when we introduced the idea, many major operators were opposed to it. Why don't they want transparency? Because people have gotten used to cheating, to stealing. It's like a norm. That's what's been established, so all of that needs to change. When it comes to infrastructure, there are a lot of things. The area of public procurement and everything related to it was actually the most corrupt sector. So you're an entrepreneur, you come to see us, we give you the contract, you overcharge, and then we split something under the table. That's the golden rule. And so when someone even comes with a different idea, you're automatically excluded. You're not allowed in if we let this continue. In that case, I don't think we can get out of it. We wouldn't be able to pay for weapons because, as I said, if you don't achieve economies of scale, you can't equip yourself. You won't find a single bank in the world where you can get a loan to buy weapons. That doesn't exist. It's with your own funds that you can equip yourself. In any case, we never had that opportunity. And if anyone knows of one, maybe we'd be interested. And everything we're currently acquiring, I told you once about the amount. It's in the billions of dollars. The country is at war. We have to do everything for the country. This imported unionism, that's not real unionism. There are even some who boast about having participated in the fall of Sankara. And it's them who started everything, and so on. Do you think that's a good thing? The Westerners manipulate you and you keep acting just the way they want. That's not unionism. A union fights for the interests of the workers. But most of the time, what the leaders really want is to come and share in the spoils with those in power. And people stay silent. No. Listen, we have a lot of files on a lot of, not just the unionists. In society, we have a lot of files. People who approached us at the beginning, who wanted favors, who wanted things we refused, who then turned away, who left, who talk. We have their files. So healthy unionism. There are a lot of actions that we have taken. We didn't wait for people to take to the streets to act. When I was talking about daycare workers, it wasn't someone who came to tell us that there were workers who had been let go and needed to have their rights restored. We saw a case and decided that their rights needed to be restored. We told the finance ministers, find the necessary funds to resolve this. The people from City Hall, the Green Brigade, those who work, they had months of back pay owed to them. For these people, those who are out of work, people weren't fighting for them before. No one came to us to say, hey, the women are sweeping branches at my place. It was one of my men who brought it up once. They said, it's been months like this, and so on, with their work. I looked into it, and he told me it was true. I said, as soon as we can, we need to make up for everything they've missed. Some of them had several, even dozens of months of back pay owed. We pulled out the files and decided to make up for all of that. So, we need to practice unionism. If there's a problem, people should come to us and explain it. If we can solve it, we'll tell you we can do it. If we can't, we'll tell you, for now we can't, but we'll be able to do it in a certain amount of time. But if there's a problem, we gather the media and speak however we want. I hope they'll find a solution with you. Otherwise, if after that you don't come to us anymore, I want us to work in an African way. When there's a problem at home, we sit down, we talk, and we have to be truthful. What we can do, we must say clearly, we can do this. What we can't do, we'll also tell you that we can't. Now, if you don't want to, everyone does what they can, but we have to be responsible. There is no problem that cannot be solved. And as I always say, always act with the interests of the nation in mind. That is very important. So we resumed the dialogue as we do with everyone. We haven't broken off dialogue with anyone. Everyone is welcome here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wait a minute. Good afternoon. Come on. We're all trying to get to this next level without, as my brethren says, without the next level finding us. You know, it's like life is peaks and valleys. And some people think some people explain that as good times, bad times, but I actually think it's learning or let's say learning mastership, okay, or study mastership. Now, I went from the top of one mountain. I had mastered something. And people appreciated it. But, you know, once you're on the top of that mountain, you have to go this way. But in hip hop, everybody's like, I'm not moving. I'm the master. I'm great. I'm dope. I'm hot. I'm here. I've arrived. I'm not going anywhere. And that's what you stay stuck on top of on one hill, one mountain, when, you know, God's intention is that we study and master a bunch of different things. I'm very encouraged. I mean, I'll be very honest with you, as a musician today, I'm not in the studio right now, and everybody in my world thinks I'm crazy. What's going on? You need another album out. You know, the time is running out. You have a certain window to make music. And for a little while, I listened to that. And I was like in the studio working real hard, trying to get it done. And, you know, music was created. Definitely music that I think people will appreciate, but it wasn't my best. And it wasn't my best because there was no substance. And there was no substance because there was no experience. I'd gone from the studio to the stage, back into the studio again. And the only reason why the Miseducation was the album it was because of a myriad of experiences that took place before the production part, before the creation. So what I realized is, you know what, I can't create and not live. I can't be in this vacuum of, you know, of creativity without life. Let's not be mediocre in our greatness. You know what I mean? Like, think big and think in doses, think in experiences, and don't be afraid of experiences that teach you. I would just encourage everybody, never be afraid of not knowing. Never be afraid of not knowing. You know, find out, because that's how you get, you know, to mastership. I'm telling you guys, please believe me, 5 years ago I was this. I was like, you know, what kind of resistance did y'all meet in the industry with popular culture when the time was perhaps
No, it's lesson 2. So yeah, I think it's late now, and I want to take a challenge to talk about Cameroon tomorrow. I got them, but tomorrow I will do it. That time I'll come here. I'll come here a little bit early. So I think I'll come here no more. So I would say I'm not doing anything much here now. So I want to go catch the bear. And I got more here to do for tomorrow. So,
If I solo boy, not a bad mado. In a good number, if I solo well, not a bad mado.
If I don't kill for
Hanga crocodile.
If I solo and attack bad mado.
And they cannot look at the animal.
Don't kill Lanato.
If I get a cockly, I get it there. And I get a cockly, what in the Galeno. And I get a cockly, I get a crowd after a cockly. What am I? I never will let me see Levato, Sangarema, duty didn't live Manjang. Babili Pujang, Sangarema, duty didn't live Manjang, Sangarema. I don't know what you don't me before. Oh, nigger get rid of Tila, Honibur get rid of Logua. Nigger get rid of City Logua, from Ghana get a cockly. Putting a Rebrayala. And I get a cockly, Acroman cockly, Nakura cockly, Acroman cockly, Nakura cockly,
I kill it to Lama Colilo.
Minimum like I did, right? My Alukaki. You're a Kakasi.
In a restaurant, the Lulu.
I'm Master Blue. Ngata sunolo. Ngata Ibrahim,